paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast that
I was hoping
features-
you would get started when DJ was on his phone.
There's
So
gonna
he'd
be
be
like
like,
1 or 2
shit.
seconds of that. There's gonna be 1 or 2 seconds of that.
Well,
That's
I
good.
I was
That's
going to
good.
say
I like
welcome
it.
back to the podcast, where between the hosts, we have 5 working knees
Ooh,
and
got
1
him.
DJ.
Did
Welcome
you
back,
not burn
DJ.
that intro last week?
No, there's no such thing as
We
overusing
didn't talk
this
about
one.
you last week.
Good. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Also, how's your knee feel, DJ, after destroying your ACL, MCL, meniscus, and manhood all in one terrifying fall? How'd it go?
I don't know where you got the last part of that, but
It was the other M word. It was the first one that came to mind, man.
I see. Your alliteration skills are just as perfect as your immune system. I could be better. I have a surgery scheduled for next month, and I'll be in a cast for the next few weeks.
Ask
I
if
fell-
you can get a wheel right on the end there. Just kind of wheel around.
Oh, like a Heelys? Dude,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Permanent.
They have those little scooters that sometimes people put their leg on and then they putter
Oh,
around.
yeah.
I don't know how that works because you probably have to rest your knee on it, though.
As long
Right.
as it doesn't go all like, all the, cart and you start turning to the left when you try to walk
True.
all the time.
Bro, that's what
You know what you need? You need Professor X's wheelchair
There you go.
because that takes all the weight off your legs completely.
Okay, yeah, just get a wheelchair. Okay?
Yeah, just get Professor X's wheelchair.
I had a very uncomfortable wheelchair when I sat in the ER for 4 hours and didn't receive care while I watched COVID patients fly in, cough all over, and then get triaged and seen before me. So
We call that freedom.
Yeah,
And there were-
half those people are dead now. So
And there was a country music song playing in the waiting room, which was just...
one song though for 4 hours.
Or there was a concert. It was a concert playing for some amount of time.
Cool.
Hey, that
And
sounds
then I left. And then I decided to not get seen at the ER.
Yeah, well, that's DJ's experience. Jason and I were here last week. We had a podcast. It was great. You should go check it out. And the other voice you heard this week.
You should get fucking vaccinated.
Oh, do that also.
The ERs are full now. Like, the hospital system is weeks from collapsing. If 3 nurses quit in Muskegon, Michigan, the whole entire medical establishment will cascade out of control. We are at
Go
a
get
breaking
boosted.
point. Just
Get boosted.
Just
Don't leave your
get-
house.
boosted, please.
Anyways, the other voice
Stop
you heard
coughing on people.
is a welcome to our guest, Geoffrey Palmer, Living Cards MTG on Twitter. Welcome to the show, Geoffrey. How's it going?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to brain and storm and brew and all that good stuff.
we
so
do all of those things on this podcast, and we
When have we
finally
brewed?
getting my
We haven't-
shot.
we
We've
read.
brewed since like 2014. What are you talking about?
You got to brew in your hands.
I mean, I didn't brew it.
I was
You
just
just
trying to
drained
give
it.
you a chance to go launch into your new segment, Jason.
No one bought me a beer this week.
I see.
Yeah, so
Oh.
what Corbin's referring to is like, I decided to sell out for a small amount of money. If you send me a beer, I'll drink it on the podcast, and then I will say your name or the name of a business or whatever. So my friend
Wow.
Seb gave me a beer last week, and I drank that. And that was cool. And then Joey D's giving me a beer. So I got some coming in the mail, but in the meantime, if you live closer and you want to get your name in there, it's a great segment. It's called You Send Me a Beer and I Drink It, and then I say your name and you're like, woo, I got a little dopamine from that.
That's a working title. We're working on that.
If you're not on a podcast, if you're just like a podcast listener and someone says your name on a podcast, you get a little dopamine. Get a little bit of dopamine.
Little
Sure.
dope.
Just a little dope as a treat.
Little dope. I like it.
Just a little squirt, a little Susan of that. Ooh, he said my name. So send
I'm
me a
going to
beer.
send you a little jar of broken glass and my business card, and we'll see what happens.
you
Did
go.
it used to be a fart? Because I hear those are worth like $1,000.
True. Like you actually heard that whole story through, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
There- yeah.
she changed her whole diet.
Yes. There was a woman who she's an influencer or whatever, right?
She's an attractive lady.
She was making $50,000 a week at the peak, bottling her farts and selling them on the internet. However, she was rushed to the hospital with chest pains, worried that she was having a heart attack.
But she
And the-
was having
the
a
doctor
fart
was-
attack.
She was having a fart attack. The doctor was like, "Your heart is fine, but the fact that you've been doing nothing but eating beans and eggs has contributed to the discomfort you're feeling in your abdomen right now."
She's smart if she was eating eggs, because you could get a small amount of fart in that jar, but if it's got that real good egg smell,
So
it
now
seems like there's more fart. It's like
no-
when guys
no more
put baby
farts, though.
laxative
She's-
and cocaine to
she
step
cut
on it.
she cut them off. She cut off the farts, so that makes
Yeah.
the previously bottled farts all the more valuable.
Yeah,
like
they're
a
like
fine
Corbin,
wine.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, Corbin, did you not see the part after that?
Yeah, she's
No.
minting NFTs of her farts now.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome. I mean that's
I
great.
had not seen that. Just to get it, she was like, "How do I produce more methane?" NFTs.
Yeah. There'll be farts everywhere when I melt through the Russian permafrost. And 200 billion tons of trapped methane hits the atmosphere all at once.
Huh. All right. Well, that's what we aspire to, is what we're saying.
We should all
If
be
anyone is
We're-
interested,
Seriously, if one more millennial becomes a crypto bro, we're no longer allowed to shit on boomers for what they've done. It's like, you did nothing to stop what was happening with the environment, and then as soon as we're in charge, it's like, whoa, what if we could have the entire energy output of one day from Venezuela to have a picture of a monkey that you could right-click and steal from somebody? What if we
But-
did that? That's
but
so much
Jason-
dumber. The like,
right click.
they were putting lead in the gasoline and melting a hole in the ozone layer so they could have like a beehive hairdo, and somehow we managed to top them and come up with something worse. Bravo! Hats
What
off
do
to
we-
the
what do we
ingenuity
need that
of people who
ozone
are raised
layer
by
for?
computers.
I
You
don't
wouldn't right click a car. You wouldn't right click a diesel engine.
You wouldn't right-click a fart.
You actually can right click cars now. That's a thing. You can buy cars online. Never have. Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody.
This podcast is brought to you by Carfax.
It's 2022. We're
Car
here to talk
farts.
about magic, which might be brought to you by Carfax soon. Here's a bit of magic news. So to
Email
start off the year.
Carfax. I bet they would sponsor us.
Do they do that? I'm in.
Yeah.
I'd chill for Carfax.
I
They
want
have
to
a-
top. I want to top Squatty Potty in terms of like absolute nothing to do with our brand.
Do they have the Fox?
Yeah, that's the
We
Car
could.
Fox.
I could probably get us Raid Shadow Legends if we really wanted it.
We do.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but we do. Does Fart Lady need any more promotion? I don't
No,
even know her
'cause-
name, but I would learn it if she sent Jason a beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say send Jason a beer. Get the name out there.
Yeah.
Send
I sent her
Jason
one
a
of
fart.
what if I sent her one of my farts and be like, I heard these are valuable to you. And then she opened it and her face melted
I
like
want to
in
ask about
Indiana
the
Jones.
logistics. I want to ask about the logistics, but I just
Who's
don't.
who's just
You
buying
put
these?
the jar on your butt, right?
Yeah,
Then
dude.
you fart in the jar and then you close it real fast before all that valuable fart. It's
And then what happens when it gets opened in a week? It's sat in
then
there,
some
right?
dude
Like,
smells
it's
it and jerks
toxic.
off.
No,
Everyone's
dude,
happy.
It's toxic at that point, right?
It doesn't like get worse in there.
Does it still smell?
Yes.
I don't know. That's a science question
you can
that I might want
you
to
can
answer.
actually bottle a fart.
Yeah.
Corbin, did you not walk around the gym in your third grade science class? Like, have you never? Has no one broken this news to you?
Did you bottle farts in the third grade?
Somebody did.
Wasn't me.
That's
Clearly.
such a Corbin activity. Somebody farting in like a Mountain Dew bottle and then giving it to somebody else. That seems like a real Corbin activity to me.
He went to
Back in my
Catholic school.
day,
They
we
would
bottled
punish.
farts.
They would give him the ruler.
Catholic school, they'd be like, what you did was not homoerotic enough. I demand you go pants that guy and point at his dick. You can't be bottling farts. That's way too hetero for the kind of hazing we get up to around here.
All right, it is time for Breaking Bulk.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
And we're starting off 2022. I guess technically last week was the first episode of 2022. We had some great ones. And now we've got DJ back. And I can't wait to see how DJ is going to break the rules this year.
What are the rules, Corbin? Just new year, fresh start.
Yeah, what are the
Tell me the
Let's
rules of the game.
establish some rules.
So I can abide by them.
Well, the original rules of the game were you pick a common or uncommon
I don't think that was in the original rules, but continue.
from a previous set, and you would tell the people the color and mana cost, and rarity and set, and that would be how they would guess them. You eventually expanded it to include rares that I guess we just think.
Rares were always allowed.
And then you expanded it to include, oh, hey,
Basic lands.
the back of the box in the storefront. Grab those. They're worth 2 cents each on eBay.
I think Windseeker Centaur was my breaking point.
What,
That was
a promo?
when I had to say something.
A promo.
A promo that doesn't exist.
With a promo with a black set symbol. All right, I have a rare. It's a rare. Is that okay, Corbin?
Yeah, DJ.
It's great. It's a mythic rare.
It's a rare from Urza's Saga,
Cool.
and it's white.
Is it
And this
only
is a-
from Urza Saga?
I think so, but let me check. This
Is
is
it
the only print of this
Pariah?
card. No, it's not Pariah.
Is it
Pariah has
Worship?
reprints. Worship also has reprints. This is the
Yeah,
only
but
print
I
of this
don't know
card.
if you know that it has
Penance.
reprints.
Corbin, what was that?
Penance.
No.
Is it is it a card that turns it from enchantment into a creature?
No.
I got nothing.
Is it those are uncommon. I'm thinking of the cycles in Urza Saga.
This used to be a bulk rare, and it has crept up to $2 over the past 2 years.
Is it an angel?
No, I think it's a cleric. It's a cleric.
This is annoying.
I got nothing.
I know this whole set,
I looked it up, so I cheated, but
just not
what
every
are you
single
gonna-
card.
What are you gonna do?
It's the only time it was ever printed. It's a white rare.
I'm
Correct.
waiting. I'm
This is a
waiting.
card that I think you would play in Commander, or you may have already.
Abeyance.
It is
I
not
think-
Abeyance.
You said it was a creature?
It is.
I could
Dude,
see
there are
this
no
being
white rare creatures in
okay
Urza Saga.
in Commander.
There's the Sarah Avatar.
There is also Faith Healer.
Sure.
Faith Healer is a 2-mana 1/1 cleric. Sacrifice an enchantment, gain life equal to the sacrifice enchantment's total casting cost.
That's pretty sweet. That's a
So
good card.
you can
Oh,
recycle some enchantments for some replenish shenanigans, some ETB stuff like Liliana's Contract or any of that sort of stuff where you are just want a free set. It's like an Oratog, but you gain some life instead.
Is this called Faith Healer? I'm gonna look at the art to see if I even recognize it.
illustrated by my buddy Randy Gallegos. He's awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
There you go.
Oh, there's an angel on the card.
I didn't.
That's
know
that's what threw me off. Good one, DJ. You stumped all of us.
All right, Jason, what do you got?
Mercadian Masks uncommon.
Brainstorm.
What's the color?
Green.
I don't know the answer.
Is it? I know that it's like +2/+2 for each other
I've picked
thing,
that so
right?
many times.
Ancestral Mask. Ancestral Mask.
It's not Ancestral Mask.
No?
See, here I was thinking, man, if I pick Spider Silk Armor, DJ's going to give me shit for picking Spider Silk Armor because I picked it in 2019. And then he's like, it's probably Ancestral Mask, a card that we do every 3 months on Breaking Bulk. No, it is neither Ancestral Mask nor is
Okay.
it Spider Silk Armor. In fact, it's not an aura at all. It is a creature that does something that another creature was later printed in Simic colors.
Oof.
That's how confident I am that you guys don't know that this card is $1.50 retail.
Okay. Does something later printed in Simic colors.
Yup. It's a creature. It's an insect. It's a 1/1 flying insect that is uncommon. And
Probably
it is
makes
worth more
tokens.
money on TCG Player than War Tax currently. And Thwart. It's worth more money on TCG Player than Thwart.
I got nothing.
It is Caustic Wasps.
I've never heard of this card in my life.
Yeah, it's getting some play apparently. And it's sold out on Cool Stuff Inc. and approaching selling.
Yeah, sure.
On Card Kingdom. This is a bad Trigon Predator, but it turns out it's an insect, which has become increasingly relevant lately. And it's another Trigon Predator. It doesn't blow up enchantments, but like, when has green ever dealt with enchantments? Come on now. So these wasps spit caustic chemicals on artifacts.
The foil is apparently worth some amount of money, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, the Mercadian Mask foils, you got like 2 commons, and uncommon, and maybe a rare.
Yeah, I mean, those foils from those sets look so pretty, and they're so hard to find in nice condition.
Every LGS that has old foils, like marked at the old whatever, it was like, this was 37 cents. I just buy them because they're always $4 on TCG Player.
And they just look cool. Like Onslaught, Odyssey, those era
Yeah.
foils just look so good.
This is like a $12 foil, but you will, if you have any bulk of this era, you have like probably 7 Caustic Wasps.
This is also similar to Faith Healer in that like it's a recent spike from within the past 2 years. So if you have just like these cards that you've picked through, and I'm not saying you should spend 5 hours of your life specifically looking for Caustic Wasps, but if it's been 2 years since you've looked through that
Since
bulk,
you picked your bulk, this is, yeah.
there are Caustic Wasp-esque cards throughout that bulk. Probably.
I'm about to give you all another one.
Picked your bulk.
I'm gonna
Never
give
picked my
you.
bulk.
I'm gonna start the Kamigawa train here. A
Woo-hoo.
white uncommon from Saviors of Kamigawa.
Tallow Wisp? No, that's Betrayers.
That was Throwing Star. He's talking Lantern. It's a white uncommon from Lantern of Kamigawa. Is it a
Correct.
samurai?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the one that gives honor. Not
The Rest in Peace one is from Champions, I think.
It's the hill giant that gives samurai 1/1 or something like that.
Hand of Honor. Is that what you're talking about?
No, Hand of Honor is the White Knight.
It's a samurai. Yeah, it's the White Knight.
Oh, it is
Yes.
the Hand of
But
Honor.
that's not the card I'm talking about. But that is
Yeah.
a pick from that set.
What is the
But-
card called? It's like it's the hill giant that gives a buff to all other samurai.
No.
Oh my goodness.
The card I'm talking about is $1. The recent dollar.
Okay,
is
if it's a
why you
recent
will-
dollar, I'm not going to get it.
Which
Is
why
it
you
is
will
it
see
is it because it's a samurai?
Yeah.
I will F6.
Because there's a bunch that went up. Like
I'm about
even
to tell you
bad
another
ones.
one. That's the point. Yeah.
It's not Hand of Honor. It's not.
It's a
I'm going to
2-mana
cheat.
human
I'm going to
samurai.
look it up. Activate my...
It's a 0/2.
I don't know.
And that's why this is a great pick. Inner Chamber Guard. It's a 0/2 human samurai for 2 mana with Bushido 2. When this blocks,
How is
or becomes
Descendant of
blocked,
Kiyomoro not gone up, but all these shitty samurai? Oh, it's a
I-
soldier. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, whenever this creature blocks, it becomes blocked. He gets +2/+2 until end of turn. The point I was going to make was that this is actually far from the only white uncommon from this set worth money. There is, as you mentioned, Hand of Honor, Aether Shockwave, in addition to the sort of cards you already know, but like also Niku Ona. There's a bunch of stuff from that set that's worth money.
I was
at that
thinking
top end,
Nagao
so
Bound by Honor, but apparently he's from Champions of Kamigawa.
There you go.
Mm.
So here's what you can do. Go to EDH Rec, and there is a themes drop down that has themes and tribes in it. If you click on tribes, you will go to a page that will tell you very controversially that samurai are built almost as much as ninjas. And you're going to go, nope, I don't believe that. But it's true. Samurai are built almost as much as ninjas, which is why when you see a bunch of terrible samurai go up,
That's
like,
got to be because, like...
Isao Enlightened Bushi is $5, even though the whatever samurai deck that comes out of this set is not going to have green in it.
That's got to be because, like, it costs, like, $4 to build a samurai deck, right?
I mean,
Like comparatively.
no, because you're putting all this stuff in it. A tribal EDH deck these days is 65% staples.
Yeah.
Once you're done adding your Obelisk of Erd and your Vanquisher's banner and all that, you got
Right, but those
17
people-
card slots for creatures.
But those people already have all those staples. They're built if they're the kind of person that jumps between tribal deck to tribal deck. They have all the staples. They're just spending $8 to buy a bunch of samurai.
I guess, and they're apparently willing to pay $4 for Lazuka the Ruthless, despite it being a 5-mana 3/3 with Bushido, which is easily a top 5 worst Magic creature ability of all time. I don't think it gets worse than Cohort, but I think Bushido is a top 5 worst.
Support is up there. Support's not good.
Support was bad. Cohort was bad. I don't even remember.
Converge? Although that's not a creature ability.
Converge was like fine, right? Isn't Converge just Sunburst? Like that was fine. That set just wasn't.
Yeah, sometimes Magic sets have to be bad.
Multi-kicker? Or not multi, Megamorph. Megamorph's the one I'm thinking of.
Megamorph was pretty bad. Yeah, true.
I was thinking of, I was like multi-morph. No, that's not it. Like
maybe we can do a top 10 worst mechanics episode sometime.
We should be clickbait people. Why aren't we clickbait people?
Well, we have not typically done that stuff, but listen, you can send us emails if you want. brainstormbrewery@gmail.com. You can talk to us in Discord if you're a member of our Discord, which you can access by going to patreon.com/BSB, signing up at least $1 a month, which get you access to that Discord. And you can let us know directly if you would like us to go that direction or not. I don't know. There you go.
That was a great pitch, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. There we go. Jeffrey, we did some finance. Did you like it?
a whole finance.
That's awesome. I mean, that's great.
We did a magic finance. Well, let's move on to the next.
I don't hear a very emphatic agreement.
All right. Well, we want to talk to Jeffrey about what you do in Magic. So, for those who don't know, you have probably seen Jeffrey's work across the internet, even if you didn't realize it. Any of the fancy graphics you've seen from a Magic Fest over the last few years? Any of the cool card animations? Before Wizards started sinking a lot of money into promotion of their own trailers and stuff, some of the work that Jeffrey was doing kind of sort of paved the way of, look, you can actually do cool stuff with these assets. So, Jeff, tell us about what your background is with Magic and how you what you do.
For sure. I kind of came back to the game around 2015, having played it when I was in high school. So flash forward many years, saw coverage, whatever coverage had become, and I was like, oh, that's a thing. That's kind of cool. I could do that, but at least they're trying. It's better than it was when I was younger. And so I started kind of just going, maybe I'll get into this scene, but I hate to say it, it was kind of Reddit, everybody's favorite scumhole website. And I animated a card by since disgraced magic artist Noah Bradley. And
so
put
wait,
it up.
you use Noah Bradley art to get a job? Because I think that's one of the power rules.
Yeah, it's a rule of power for sure.
Jason, I've done NFTs. You're admitting defeat by having me on the cast. Like, it's over. It's done. No, we'll talk about all the terrible ways I've sold my soul. I worked for Channel Fireball. No.
Someone's listening to this podcast on their iPhone.
Yeah.
Burning it down too.
No. I've since distanced myself from that individual. Not a good person. But anyway, yeah, so I did the old go viral thing. And that was like, we were talking about get the dopamine, send Jason a beer, get the little dopamine hit, get the updoots, get the dopamine going. So I thought, okay, this is cool. And so I started doing that, and I started kind of getting some people saying, hey, this is doing the Magic Fest trailers. And then I just started finding people to work with, and I kind of, it's kind of ego thing, but I worked with pretty much everybody at this point who's making big time content. Got in with Loading Ready Run and Tolarian Community College, and did Vintage Super League and all the cool stuff that Randy Bueller was doing, and just finding people and saying, hey, let's work together, let's do something. I was affordable then. I'll say that. I would work with you. Now I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. What? You got a little, what are you doing? A little podcast about merfolk? Fuck off. I'm not doing that. I try not to.
This
I
is
try not to
barely not a podcast about merfolk.
I threw that in.
Well, no, all of that stuff was awesome.
Yeah,
for
you.
sure.
It's cool. I like people were trying to make content, and I kind of came at it from the angle. It's like everybody's going to the gold rush. Not that there's a gold rush in making Magic the Gathering content, but I'm trying to sit there sell the pickaxes. That's like a little analogy for you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came at it from, hey, I want to do my thing. I'm never gonna make the Magic content. I thought about it. I thought, okay, I can make it look good. I can sit down. I can do the research. I can have something to talk about. I'm not gonna do it. So I come at it from my angle, and now it's kind of evolved after I had children, which, if anyone knows, your life doesn't change at all when you have children. Just kidding. Changes staggeringly. And I worked for a seller of trading card games for a while. And I kind of took a break from animating, but now I'm getting back into it here and there. And so now it's sort of like all back on my own terms. It's come full circle. It's like I went on my own, then I went hardcore into like trying to build a brand, whatever a brand is from what I was doing, sell, make money. And then I came back and, now I just do it and have fun. And I love helping people out. And
sounds like you went through the 8 stages of grief.
Exactly. Pretty
I
much.
was gonna say you and Logan hold the nuclear codes for the entire ecosystem of Magic Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Shout out to Sarah Six on Twitter for that as
Twitter
well.
is the only reason that I haven't had many hours of therapy. I don't know. I just shit post like a drug. I mean, like today, I get on a meeting and I'm just like, I don't care about this. Let's make a meme, and now it's, people like it. Get the dopamine going.
There you go. Well, look, this is what we love to have people on this show who
I love it.
make their own way in the game.
People,
is that what we like?
People have positive reactions to stuff. That's, there's a lot of negativity in the gaming space here and there. I try to not get in on that. I try to not do the low-hanging fruit. I'll tell you the worst meme I ever made.
I'm in.
Since you asked. It was this, I'm trying to remember the punchline is always the same. The punchline is always, oh no. And it's this sort of poorly drawn character.
Yeah. I know what
he
you're
always
talking
says, oh no. Everything leads to the oh no. So it was, I am a professional Magic player in panel 1, panel 2, and also I work in a supermarket. And then the last one, oh no. This was at the height of the pay the pros, stuff. And it was sort of like, oh, yeah, because Magic players are pros, but they're also working at super. And so that, that it went viral, and I was like, that doesn't feel
So what's interesting about that particular thing is how...
Don't do that as much.
It's interesting about that is how misplaced a lot of that was.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of ways, because look, we're not going to rehash this whole thing, blah, blah, blah. But people think that some of the top level pros, the 1% of the 1% are out here struggling to make it.
No.
The people who are likely to receive your sympathy online, because that's who you follow online, are probably the people who are doing just fine. When something like Pay the Pros comes up, it's a whole thing. The pro system. Now they found the easy way out. Instead of finding ways to make it work for everybody, they just blew it all up. It works for nobody.
Blew it all up. Yep. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff every day. Somebody's got something to yell about. Try not to do too much of that anymore, but it is a lot of memes. Makes
one place you've directed some positivity has been the Dad Cord, the Dad Discord that you've set up. Tell us about that.
For sure, that was completely out of just the blue. I'd never done a Discord. I don't know what I'm doing with it still. And I was a little nervous about trying to set up a community that's sort of like, well, I only want you to join if you're a dad. But I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I sort of collect these dads who are, just not, I'm just trying to, keep track of who's got kids and reach out, because my really good friend, Aunt Tessitore, who was a flavor writer for Magic, and he had a kid, same process of having a kid. We had some struggles. He had some struggles. We both ended up having a kid at the same time. I haven't seen him in years, but we ended up like texting all the time, and going through that together with somebody was like, that's huge. And nobody's really out there supporting dads. It's just sort of like, dad, just, be there to support or whatever. But I thought, okay, if I can check in on dads and dads can have a little bit of a place to talk, that would be really cool. So I said, hey, why don't I just make a Discord, thinking, okay, 5 people will join. Maybe conversation will be going for a little while, and I'm not going to keep up with it. So if it's going to be a thing, it's going to have to be on its own. And now we have over 50 dads. I haven't even checked in recently, and they've all kind of organically just been invited, and people are being cool. And I said, hey, only positivity. But yeah, I'm not going to post a link. I'm not just blasting it out there, but if you want to join, reach out to me on Twitter at LivingCardsMTG. If you're a dad who plays Magic, if you don't play Magic, if you're a dad to be, if you hear about this, you're obviously probably have some tangential interest in Magic or slinging cardboard or God knows what.
You think so?
Sick fascination.
So, really. Yeah.
But yeah, just, it's your dads are out there and nobody's really saying, hey, dad, are you okay? I mean, that sounds a little sappy. I'm not trying to do a Sarah McLachlan commercial here, but I wanted a spot where dads could go, hey, this really sucks. And it's been cool because, dads are dealing with COVID and having lots of shit going on in the world right now. So let's talk for a little bit. So
yeah, it's been great. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love seeing you come on, and I think Jason, you joined, but you're gonna start posting once you
am
get
I?
your.
Or am I just gonna lurk like I do in every other Discord?
Lurk
That's
like
true.
You do.
He doesn't even post in our Discord.
Well,
When you
I don't like the
when you
people
need
in our
when you need
Discord.
support, you're gonna be like, dads, my child has killed someone, and I don't know how to handle this, and we'll be like, all right, here you go, Jason. Here's what
I
you
think
do.
that's one situation Jason would actually have a good handle on.
Yeah, I would probably be in
Well, you'll be
the
sharing your
top
wisdom.
0.1% of body get rid ofers.
Wait till
in
Lily
America.
has some kind of boy problem when she's like a preteen.
Oh, and a kid just disappears. Yeah.
Well, that's not exactly what I meant, but I was talking about your putting your parenting to the
Kids
test
just
there.
disappear all the time.
Yeah,
man.
I'll put my parenting to the test and make that kid fucking disappear. Like a
Okay.
good dad.
Jason will be like straight out of a country song, Corbin. You don't understand.
Yeah, dude, that's a good point, man.
Nobody in a country song gets away with it.
They just get
Is that
murdered
true?
by their wife later.
I'm really
The
glad
women
I
get away
Every
with
woman,
it.
no,
The
every
women get away
women-
with it. Yeah.
Every female country song singer gets away with it.
Yeah, bro, there's that Dixie Chick song. They got away with it.
So here's a breaking bulk for you guys. This is a rare I have gotten in bulk multiple times. It is currently $12 on TCG Player. It is a blue creature from Commander 2021.
It's the token draw card thing, the one that's been creeping up for like a month or so.
Curiosity Crafter. I don't think EDH is doing this. I gotta imagine it's another format. Like, I realized that everything that Curiosity Crafter says is good. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever creature token you control deals damage to a player, draw a card. I realize all that is, that's good. You want all of those things on a Magic card. And yet, I camp out on EDH Rec every day. I kind of missed this creeping up until it was, approaching $8. Curiosity Crafter is just a good card in a good deck, in a good commander set that everybody just forgot about after a couple weeks because there are just too many products coming out. This is something we all missed, and
I didn't miss this card.
You didn't say anything about it, so you missed it.
This card has been on the top interests page of MTG stocks frequently.
And everyone who
recently, this was buyable for $2. You didn't say when it was $2. That's my point.
Well, anybody who does go to our sponsor, mtgstocks.com, we'll see it, as DJ mentioned, the interest page where you can find
Mhm.
all of the cards moving up in price a little bit, all the cards moving up in price a lot.
Yeah.
You can look at foils.
So when stuff shows up on MTG stocks, you still have a little bit of time sometimes to get cheap copies, but for the most part, it's like this is moved because card prices move when TCG Player runs out of copies at the old price. That's what happens.
Well, and one of the main reasons I didn't talk about this card is because I saw it on MTG stocks and I thought it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw it go from 1 to 3 and I was like, that's a $3 card now. Neat, mental checklist complete.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, it went to 5. Interesting. That now it's peaked. I've got mine. I'll chuck them on TCG from backstock and sell them. And
I was
then
actually looking at a card earlier like that myself, and now I'm going to go back and look at it again based on this conversation.
So what I did was I went to EDH Rec and I was like, Curiosity Crafter has to be one of the most played cards from this set. But you look, Curiosity Crafter is in about 6,800 decks, but there are cards that are in more decks that cost less money. Monologue Tax is like $4 right now, and that's in 11,000 decks. Way more than Curiosity Crafter. Archaeomancer's map costs the exact same amount of money as Curiosity Crafter and is in 4 times as many decks.
So was this on like a YouTuber's spotlight, or was this in like...
who knows? Yeah, it could have been something like that. But if you look at something like Ink Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I went to EDH Rec and I just looked at the set Commander 2021, and it's not sorted by number of inclusions, it's sorted by percentage inclusion, so you really have to look at the number of decks something's in. Mm-hmm. But there are cards that are in a lot more decks than Curiosity Crafter and cost less money, which leads me to believe if Curiosity Crafter's success has anything to do with any sort of merit, these other cards are going to tick up. So anything that's in 7,000 or more decks, I would look at if it's got a cheaper price than Curiosity Crafter's current, like $10. Anything that's like $2-3 that's in 10,000 decks, I want to look at. So what I did was I literally just went to the C21 page on EDH Rec, and I picked out a couple of really good candidates, including my pick of the week. So anytime you see a discrepancy like that, where you're like, this could be hype, but if this is real, there are cards in more decks that they're not going to go up as fast because if a YouTuber mentioned Curiosity Crafter or it got play on I Hate Your Deck or Command Zone or something like that, whatever reason a card pops off before it's, quote unquote ready to, when this goes from 3 to 13 real fast, the other stuff will catch up. Now, Curiosity Crafter is not going to stay the price it is unless it's sustained by organic demand, in which case everything that is played more and costs less will go up eventually. Or it'll go back down, but it'll still go to ahead of where it was. So using just that as a baseline, if Curiosity Crafter in 6,700 decks can comfortably go for $10, I cannot justify not buying my pick for pick of the week, which is Ink Shield, which is in 7,700 decks and costs like $4. Ink Shield is sold out on Cool Stuff Inc. It is about to sell out at $7.50 on Card Kingdom, and there are $5 copies on TCG Player. There are like 80 listings at the time we recorded this podcast. Ink Shield is a $12 card in a month.
I think this also speaks to the power level increase of Commander precons over the past few years.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're
not doing reprints for money anymore. They're like, we will give you powerful cards, and we assume that 1 card per deck is going to be close to Dockside. That's what they're doing.
And there were a few years where Commander decks were just full of insane reprints. It was C14, C15, C16, C17, and then C18 was the year they decided to increase the power level, but decrease the individual reprint power level, and they just spread it all over powerful $2 cards, and people complained. And then they did the same thing in C19.
And it's sold, but C18 sold well. So as much as everyone was like, "Oh, I don't like it," they bought a ton.
People were mad that there wasn't 17 different variants of Life from Loam in the Windgrace deck, and the fact that it had a spider as a commander just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But the deck was still just extremely powerful, and Lord Windgrace is still just one of the nuttiest commanders they've ever printed ever.
Windgrace is ridiculous.
And so those decks are just powerful. You can play those 18, 19, 20, 21 decks out of the box, and they're just absurd. Just because they're missing a shock land and fetch land style mana base doesn't mean that they...
Yeah.
What's
I
that?
went on Kenobi's podcast, and
Mhm.
I did a little politicking, but I was playing literally the Morph Precon because I
Yeah.
had just moved and just fucking forgot to unpack everything when I get to go on Kenobi's podcast. So that's all I had. Spoilers, I won. Just like set up a little toolbox and flip. What are you gonna do? And yeah, it helped that Kenobi couldn't find he was playing Perforos and couldn't find a goblin or not Perforos, one of the goblin commanders couldn't find any goblins, but yeah. They're
Yeah.
powerful. Really good. Really good.
Yeah.
What's the morph ones? Kadema. No.
Snake? Yeah.
The snake.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name of
And
it?
now they're
Yeah.
putting. Look, they
Let's
decided
go.
with these recent ones. What if we just made the expensive cards the new ones, and people can't complain? Anyways,
I still think
Jason's
monologue
right
tax
about
is
these.
absurd.
Monologue tax is absurd. I could
Yeah.
name 10 cards right here that I think are underpriced. Archaeomancer's
Maybe
Mapping
you should
Shield,
do
Edrix
some
and Nev,
financing
Varen,
segments.
Monologue Tax, Cursed Mirror, Essex, Pest Infestation, and Cunning Rhetoric. Those are all underpriced. So
Cunning Rhetoric is absolutely like a $15 card for sure.
Agreed.
But Cunning Rhetoric is the same price on every website, which means I think its current like $6-7 is like a little more
Stable.
organic.
Yeah.
Then you look at something like Monologue Tax, which is $8 on Cool Stuff and $4 on TCG Player. If you can get a $4 Monologue Tax, it's already twice that on a set at a website that is selling them for $8.
And Smothering Tithe is also like not a style of card that lends itself to be put in a precon, just because it's so
Right.
it's skewed. It's like Rhystic Study. You can't put Rhystic Study in a precon because the player that happens to play Rhystic Study on turn 3 in a pod full of precons wins the game automatically.
Smothering
So,
Tide
like-
was literally in a Brawl deck, but go off.
Like, it can't be in a Commander precon though. The Brawl decks were
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I
like
wonder if I animated a card, if I could make it spike. Like I pick something and just like,
No.
Yeah, you pick one of these that Jason's talking about.
Well, it
No.
will also have to be something undervalued.
But I mean,
Cunning Rhetoric.
Cursed
so-
Mirror is gettable under $4, and Cursed Mirror is in over 10,000 decks.
And so, like, another reason for a lot of this is the mass increase in efficiency of the ability of macro level stores to break product and list them and undercut each other on release weekend.
Because they
So,
don't
like-
have to buy the pre-con decks. They can buy the collector boosters and get these cards in like a $15 to $20 borderless version.
Well, that, and also they can just, the efficiency of stores to break 1 million precons. Like, this didn't exist like 5 or 6 years ago where you could just like have a massive warehouse level store just use automation systems and like machines to crack precons and sort them and then list them. And like you can do that on the scale of like hundreds of cards now. So like on release weekend, you see Cursed Mirrors and Monologue Taxes for like $3 or $4. And like some of those spike immediately. Sometimes people, content creators will like, I know Archaeomancer's map was the one that like spiked really hard shortly after release.
And
then
that's
it came
in twice as many decks as Monologue.
and it came back down, but like just a lot of that is just the ability of stores to crack so much product and just undercut and sell on TCG Direct to try to make like 87 cents per precon or whatever and just move it in volume and just ignore the long-term viability of each individual cards because again, Magic is a volume game and not a margins game. And then like the stores make all their money, but like if you're a player who doesn't deal with that number of transactions per year, then like you have a lot of opportunity to just buy individual cards, like the $4 monologue tax that'll pay off in the long run.
Yeah.
There you go.
But if you go to TCG Player and there's
I like
80
it.
copies left and they're sold out on Card Kingdom and cool stuff, like that's a pretty good indication that you should just, I don't know, maybe break off $320 and just the price of this card up forever. You could cause problems for $300. You could be Martin Shkreli for $300, and we don't tell people how to do that often because we don't want people to do it. But
That
you
is correct.
could, but don't. But it would be so easy, but don't. And I might, but you shouldn't.
I'm going to talk about a card that is come up off its bottom off a recent reprint, has a history of being a very expensive card, and is currently $4 and below, and that's Karthus, Tyrant of Jund, reprinted in Double Masters. Card actually bottomed out around $2 or so, after release. It's
This
climbed
card
up to
got
about
kicked
350.
in the dragon nuts by mystery boosters.
It sure did. It sure did. But you know what? This version has now climbed off of where it's at, and it's been showing steady growth over 2021. And you know
I
what? It has a
blame Joe
pedigree of a
Manganiello
$30
for
card.
this card coming
So-
back because everyone saw Flash Thompson build a Tiamat deck and they're like, "Ooh, I need Karthus."
Karthus, for those who don't know, is the sort of the original, like the modern take on like Dragon Lord of a different kind. It's a 7-mana Jund creature, 7/7 flying haste. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of all dragons, then untap them, and the other dragons have haste. So you play Karthus and you just swing for a billion with everyone's dragons. But at 350, which is what this card's TCG player median is right now, I think that this is a very, very easy pickup.
All right, I have a very speculative pick based on not Kamigawa. I'm looking further into the neon future than 2,000 years or whatever.
Oh, is it the Sopranos set they're doing?
Yeah. So
Streets of New Capenna, go ahead.
yeah, Streets of New Capenna is the.
How do you know? Wait. Can we talk about how
I'm a
Corbin
professional.
knows? Jesus Christ!
I'm a
man.
professional.
It is the LA noir mobster style, just criminal underlord sort of. It seems very Ravnican, but like it's
The
very
Sopranos
Who's
kind
gonna
of-
get killed for monologue?
The
tax
Sopranos
evasion?
covered it, honestly.
Yeah, it's very
Go ahead,
specifically
Mo.
like noir themed, and for
I-
those who don't care
I
about
want to
the
go back for that monologue tax evasion joke, but I feel like you guys stepped on it too hard.
We did.
That's
It's
too
okay.
bad. It's too bad. You guys do that a lot.
And for those who don't care about the lore, one of the key points of this set is that it's a wedge set, so there's 5 faction families, crime families, and they're all led by 5 different demons, sort of how like Strixhaven was led by the 5 dragons. My pick is Liliana's Contract. This
Sure,
is a black enchantment from a recent core set. I believe it's core 19, and it is roughly $1 to $1.50. And it says you win the game on it, which is a very
True.
popular line of text to have on cards. And there will be 5 new wedge-colored demons in this set. And I think that there could be more just demon tribal stuff. And I think that people like to play with demons. And even without these 5 new lords, I think that this is just a slow casual gainer, barring a reprint. Liliana's Contract. It also just draws cards in mono black.
Yeah,
without
the
having
card
other
exists.
text.
Yeah, card's fine in that sense. But you're absolutely right in that if Demon Tribal were to be a thing, it literally basically at any point in Magic for Commander, Liliana's Contract will spike. So you're actually you're right
you
in
guys
the
are
sense that
smart.
it's a very undervalued sort of tribal thing, which is usually the lowest hanging fruit. We talked about the samurai creatures earlier when it comes to specs. So
This
go
is
ahead,
cool.
Jeffrey.
I've never been on a finance podcast, so I'm just I'm just baffled over here. Y'all smart. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
tell
like-
your friends.
it looks
We've been talking about
pretty.
smart shit the whole time while everyone else is screeching about the proxies and shit.
True. All right, before we go this week, Jeffrey, we do want to give you the floor one more time and just let you kind of share your thoughts and musings about things that might be important to you. Go ahead.
I just want to tell a Corbin story. It's not.
Those are pretty important.
Is
Wait,
it
wait.
embarrassing?
Is a Corbin
Yeah.
story about
Well,
Corbin, or is a Corbin Styles?
Well, it's a
Telling.
double. It's about.
Is
both
it a
of us.
time
It's a
you
double
were the
whammy.
Corbin?
I was with and was the Corbin. Yeah, it
Go on.
encompasses all things. So, Corbin and I worked together for probably on and off for a couple of years, just seeing
Uh-huh.
each other and then more directly. Only once, I think only once did we end up in a hotel room together due to some sort of
Lucky you.
scheduling mismatch.
Yeah, you're welcome. Go on.
But anyway, that the night of in question, they had free wine at the event pre the actual us going to work. It was like that Friday night, so we got set up.
Oh.
You remember this? I don't know if you remember.
No, not at all.
You've had been to so many. I remember this.
What city were we in?
That I don't remember at all, but it didn't matter. We
Yeah,
were
but
with-
whoever remembers
No,
we were
nobody
hanging
ever
with-
remembers.
yeah. Anyway, Corbin said a phrase which I actually have, taken as a bit of a mantra. He starts mainlining wine like they're going to take it away. It's all inclusive as much as you can have. And I'm like, Corbin, we got to fucking get up at Saturday morning. Like, we got to do something. I'm not trying to judge. Like, I love to drink, but I'm like, we have to get up. And you go, Geoffrey, we don't leave value on the table. This is free. We never leave value on the table. So Corbin is just mainline. So I'm like, we don't leave value on the table. I've said that late in my life recently when things have come up. I got my toenails painted because I went and got a spa thing, and she was like, well, it's included as painting the toenails. And I thought, I'm not leaving value on the table. We don't leave value on the table.
Look, I'm not going to say that maybe you can take it too far. So just keep on doing you.
So the night goes on. We proceed to become real drunk. Head back to the hotel room.
I would never.
We, in the middle, in the dread, we'll use the magic, in the dread of night, I have the worst Charlie horse I've ever had in my life that just basically folds my ankle in on itself. And I let out a blood curdling, like the movie SFX, just, and Corbin, who has been snoring like a motherfucking demon to this point, stops snoring and just looks at me aghast, but doesn't say anything. Doesn't say, are you okay? Are you fine? And as soon as it's there, it stops. Like it just passed through. And I'm looking at him and he's looking at me. They're just frozen in this moment. And he just, I guess, decides, you're okay, and turns back over and goes back to sleep. There's just this one hanging horrible moment. And we wake up the next day. I got up, immediately took ibuprofen. We woke up the next day. Corbin was in, had the Spanish flu or what have you. Got the boys some ibuprofen and off we went. But that was a night to remember, my friend. That was a good time.
It's funny you say that. I have no memories of this night, but that does check out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You spent a million nights in a million different rooms with a million different guys, so I'm not surprised. But
that is what we say on this podcast every time we sign off. I'm Jason. This is DJ, and Corbin has spent a million nights in a million hotels rooms with a million guys. Good night.
Oh man, well, thank you for sharing that.
It was a good
that heartfelt story.
Fun little memory.
I hope we get to do it again. I'll say that.
We someday, buddy. Who knows? Maybe under better circumstances than waking up and doing a damn magic event.
Fingers crossed for year 3 of 2020 to be a better one.
Yeah, no joke. No joke.
Anyway, well, everybody, thank you so much for listening to Brainstorm Brewery. Thank you, Geoffrey, for coming on. You can find him Living Cards MTG on Twitter. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Hey, say my Twitter handle too. I don't like.
No. Corbin, me too.
Corbin, getting.
Neither of those two are following me, so don't just give them a pass. That's
Jason E. Alt and DJ Rose of Thorn.
Flag on the field for not following the guests. Ugly. Just, you hate to see it, but hey.
I'm gonna embarrass you right now and see if you're following me.
I did follow you. I followed you.